as you know, this is now UFC 300 fight week, and we are here. So finally, after all these different fights that we've had to deal with, right? Obviously, if you're a hardcore fan, you're gonna love all these fights regardless. You're gonna love the Tai Tuivasa fight, the Manon Farut and the Aaron Blanchfield fight, even the Brandon Allen and the Chris Curtis fight last night. You love it all. But the highly anticipated fight of them all is none other than Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira, or at least you don't know it yet. You see, this fight, honestly, is absolutely being slept on for whatever reason, right? And one of the biggest reasons why this fight is being slept on is for the simple fact that a lot of people just don't understand the absolute value of what number one, Jamal Hill can bring to the table, but not only what he can bring to the table, but also just the reality of this particular matchup at hand, right? You see, what we got with Jamal Hill is sort of an MMA striker versus somebody like Alex Pereira, whose striking is sort of geared towards, guess what? Kickboxing, in which he had to really try to learn MMA as a result. So it's a little bit different, right? So understand there is a huge difference between them. And by the way, a little housekeeping to let you guys know, I'm going to have a video coming out soon, right after this live stream. It's called John Jones Attempted MURDER charges, right? I'm going to go into a lot of details into that particular matter and what has happened during the drug testing situation. I think that a lot of people have their own particular views of that matter at hand, but I'm going to give you the most objective take on this particular matter, which, quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people are really giving the most objective takes. But before that, we're going to talk about my reaction to the WWE Wrestlemania Philadelphia yesterday. So if you guys noticed, Meek Mills, out of all people, was the guy that was hosting the intro for that event, which sort of shocked me, right? Because at first I was thinking to myself, man, you know what? Uh, this is taking place in Philadelphia, right? So if it's taking place in Philly, is it possible that perhaps maybe Meek Mills would be a part of it? And I'm thinking, like, man, you look at all the past WrestleManias, you had Snoop Dogg up in there, especially if they were out in California. Snoop Dogg was a huge instrumental part of the WWE, and this is also the reason why he has made it into the Hall of Fame of the WWE. Even though he's not a WWE wrestler, he's contributed to their particular brand over and over again to the point where pretty much they had no choice but to let him become a WWE Hall of Fame. So some of the matches that I had noticed last night, obviously The Rock had came back, right? And I think that was big for the brand because here's something that I often notice and hear from a lot of the WWE or the old school WWE fans that are no longer WWE fans, but in particular the WWE fans that grew up out of that particular product and becoming MMA fans as a result. Which, by the way, I think is a real brilliant move on the part of TKO company, right? The investment firm that pretty much owns the WWE and the UFC. For the simple fact that, well, let's just be honest, right? If you're buying a product that people understood as a kid, but you're also buying a product that people now understand as an adult. So kid WWE, adult UFC is the best way to really put it. Oh, what the hell? What is that? What the one says? Oh, what the what the hell? Or are you saying what the hell or what the hello? Whatever you're trying to say, please convey your message in a much more clear fashion so that I can read it and that I can respond to you properly. But either way, hello, thank you for tapping in. And for everyone around the world that is tapping into my channel, we're growing just a little bit more every day. And I'm here to give you guys the most objective takes. It's a meme. Shave the beard, please. One. Well, who are you to tell me what to do in terms of what I should or shouldn't do? Here's another guy right here that thinks that he's going to come in here and try to tell me what to do. Oh, shave your beard. Well, I don't tell you what to do with your life. For one, I run this. What exactly do you run? Anyways, if you're going to be a troll and you're going to act up, please don't get blocked, okay? I really appreciate your engagement, but at the same time, man, I'll fire off on you if I have to. Your life, whatever, bro. All right, so with that, you get a timeout for 24 hours. Goodbye. So, anyways, back at it again, and I'm gonna tell you guys, UFC 300 Fight Week is here. There's a lot of highly anticipated matchups that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. On top of that, I really think there's going to be a lot of fights out there that really are going to be surprising for a lot of people. For one, the Jamal Hill fight is going to be very surprising. The Max Holloway fight is going to be surprising. A lot of people are giving this fight to uh, Justin Gaethje straight away. Don't ever shave your beard. We don't have too many Alpha and Omega. So blocked. Thank you for your contribution. And by the way, listen, bro, you're nothing more than a fan. You got to understand this, Alpha, Omega, whatever your name is. You come in here, you got to understand you're giving me interactions, right? So you can say whatever you want. Bro, I'm telling you right now, you would not run the fade with me in real life. If I saw you in real life, you would run for your life, in all honesty. I would hurt you and I would hurt anybody that's in your circumference, and you would be able to do nothing about it. So you can talk all the trash that you want, but just remember this: I live a better life than you, I'm healthier than you, and that's just the bottom line. And then this guy right here, okay, tough guy. I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I'm trying to be myself. All that I'm trying to do is trying to let you know what's up. If you're going to talk smack, you think that I'm not going to talk smack? You think that this is MMA Guru, that somehow you could just come in here and say whatever you want and that I'm not going to respond? I mean, come on, think about it, bro. So if you want to come at me in a respectful manner and in an intellectual manner, I'm going to treat you as such. But if you're not going to do that, then guess what? I'm going to attack you in the same similar fashion. And guess what? You ain't never seen nothing like this, okay, Dr. Doppler? You got to understand something, bro. I'm made for combat. Do you understand? I was born in Libya, the most violent country in the world. On top of that, I was raised in New Jersey, the most violent part of the United States. And on top of that, the even more violent parts of the United States out here in West Side, California, where we run fades out here, homie. Guess what, man? I grew up around real tough guys, so I know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about all this tough guy stuff. On top of that, you also got to understand, bro, I've had fights. I've had amateur fights. I've trained with some of the best fighters in the world. I've tested myself. How many of y'all can say that? Go look at my workout videos and you tell me if you train harder than me in those particular workout videos. You don't. So you want to come in here and talk smack, man, you're going to get smacked the back up. Okay, homie? That's how it gets down over here on the west side. All right? It's actually funny to watch. Well, thank you. I'm entertaining, and this is what we do it for. We go on YouTube so that we can create a buzz, so that we can create a following, whether those are positive followings or whether those are good followings or whether they're negative followings. They're all followings in the beginning. But what you are is nothing more than a fan. Let me see you make a channel. Let me see you put your face out there for the world to go out there and talk all this abuse and this and that. I'll bet you can't handle it. That's the reason why you ain't got no videos. You ain't popping. You ain't doing nothing. So that's the reason why you just come up in here and you talk your smack and you think that it's funny or whatever. But that's cool, bro. You're nothing more than a fan. You understand that? So if you're a fan, do your job. Get your pom-poms ready. And that's just really what it is. Funny or not, guess what? This is real stuff, baby. And you ain't about to come in here and disrespect me. If you disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you back and F you and your mama. Because I bring the drama. West Side in this. What are you going to do? Why are you live right now? You ain't popping or Nicholas Hernandez. Well, guess what? You got to start somewhere, right? Mr. Nicholas Hernandez that ain't got no screen name. Again, this is the type of people that you are. You're the type of people that likes to say a lot of things that has nothing. Hey, bro, Mr. Dr. Doppler or whatever your name is, show me your house. Show me what kind of lifestyle that you live. I'll bet you ain't got no good lifestyle, do you? What part of California do you live at? I live in the most expensive part of Sacramento. What kind of life do you live, you freaking bum? You're nothing more than a bum. It's time that we address these little I'm homeless. Well, there you go. I don't care, bro. Good for you. You should, if you are, then you shouldn't be up in here us talking smack. What you should be doing is going out there trying to do something better with yourself. And guess what? This is the reason why I get in here because guess what? I'm not trying to be like you. And by the way, where's that Hernandez guy that was talking smack? Let's address you, bro. Let's address you. Talking about, oh, you ain't making money, you ain't popping. Well, what do you do? What do you do? Look at my live yesterday. Look at the house that I live at. Look at all my videos and all the places that I'm at. I'm at the top. I'm at a top hotel in Santa Monica. You can look that up. It's on the page. I'm at the best hotels when I go to Universal Studios. Look at the house that I live at and this and that. I'm not even trying to be on that tip, bro. I'm not even trying to be about making all this about what I got versus what you got. And Dr. Doppler or whatever, Dr. Decker or whatever your name is, I'm sorry that that's the situation that you got going on, but bro, do better with yourself, bro. Do better. Okay, you come in here and you talk that smack, but man, you ain't doing nothing with yourself. You told me yourself that you're homeless, and then you want to come in here and talk smack, bro. You're amazing. You're amazing, bro. But I pray for Allah that you get out of your situation because I don't wish that on no man. Unless you're the ops, unless you're an enemy. And where's that Hernandez kid at? Oh, huh? I'm telling you, bro, this is a different type of a site, bro. This is a different type of channel. I'm going to address every single one of you. And guess what? If you want to keep talking smack, I'm going to talk smack back. Or I can just be intellectual about it, talk about fights, be positive, and create a better environment for you and yours. But nah, you don't want to do that. You want the negativity. So guess what? We're going to ride on that. I can do that all day. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm made for combat. You ain't. You ain't. And if you're made for combat, come see me, bro. Come see me on the west side of Sacramento if you really want it. On west side, baby. You ain't about that life. I'm about that life. You ain't. So shut your mouth, listen up, and maybe you'll learn something. So now back to the fights. So Max Holloway, I think, has a great chance of winning this fight. Max Holloway, in my honest opinion, has the volume that I think will present a lot of problems to Justin Gaethje. Also, Jamal Hill is sort of in this trajectory where he's built more like an MMA striker, as opposed to, let's say, uh, Alex Pereira, who's obviously more of a pure kickboxer, which I think is going to be a little bit different in terms of the type of fights that he had against Israel Adesanya, or maybe even against Jan Blachowicz. Because at any time, you have to take into consideration that Jamal Hill may come in here and perhaps maybe try to shoot in for a takedown. That's a great possibility. Do you guys not think that's a great possibility? Right? Think about it. It's a great possibility for the simple fact that I think, in my humble opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jamal Hill may be a much more well-rounded fighter than Alex Pereira. Do you think so? If you think so, let me know. So, or we could just continue addressing the haters. This dude over here, Nicholas Hernandez. Why are you live right now? You ain't popping or making money. Well, guess what, Nicholas Hernandez? You don't even have a freaking profile pic. You don't even have videos on your freaking channel that nobody even cares about. Guess what? I'm about to be on the verge of making money on YouTube. You're not. All I need is just a few more subscribers and this and that and a few more watch hours, which I'm already there. And guess what? I'm going to be live and popping in your face. Okay, I'm going to be in your mama's face if you really want to put it like that. I'll violate you and your mama. What you think about that, you punk ass Nicholas Hernandez with no profile pic? And who else wants to trash talk in here? Let's see here. Let's see here. Dr. Doppler, I'm delusional. He's delusional. That's why. Maybe you're the one that's delusional. You're the one that's homeless, bro. So who are you to tell me that I'm delusional or this and that? He said that my mama is dead. Well, guess what? That ain't my problem. You're the one. You're the one that's coming in here in a website or in my your YouTube page, trash talking. So guess what? If I violate you and your mama verbally right now, that's on you. Okay, you're the one that dishonored her memory by coming in here trying to trash talk, and you think you're going to get away with it, Mr. Dr. Delker or whatever your name is. But hey, look, bro, like I said, we can play nice or we can get into some real gangster stuff. And if you are not going to play nice, man, I'm going to go gangster on you. I have two dads, though. Well, I don't know what to say to that. You know that I can't respond to that because guess what? You'll get demonetized around here for really giving you my true and honest opinion on that matter. But on any regard, shout outs to you and your two dads or whatever weird lifestyle you got going on, you freaking weirdo. But anyways, let's talk about other fights that are going on here. How about Bo Nickel and Cody Brundage? Now, let me tell you what I talked about in the stream for the what was that stream that I did? The ONE FC stream, and where I also talk about UFC 300 stuff. Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is really, they're setting this dude up to be a big star. Jay Reckless says, damn, homie, thank you. Thank you for your comments. All the comments are welcome. I don't know why you're saying damn. Are you saying damn because I went and insulted that dude to the highest order and he didn't expect that he was going to come in here and get insulted like that? Bro, I'm telling you, as Muslim men, you can either ride with us two ways, right? You can either play nice, be our friend and our ally, or you can be an op and we can really get into some op stuff and get into some gangster stuff and really insult you and your mama. Okay? Because that's how I get down, bro. I will destroy you. Look, bro, what I've done over the years, whether that's in the streets, whether that's in the military, whether that's competing in amateur Muay Thai or MMA, it is no different than what I am doing in YouTube right now. Okay, the only difference is now I'm doing it in a live stage where people actually think they can get away with talking trash. Let's just be honest about this, right? Number one, a lot of you are never going to meet me in real life. And if you do, a lot of you are going to try to be friendly about it. So let's just be real. Ain't none of y'all going to talk trash to me in real life. First of all, I'm a trained, mixed martial artist. I've done Muay Thai. I've won an amateur Muay Thai. You 5'5" max. No, I'm actually 6 feet, you freaking idiot. You know, how tall are you? Again, you say another stupid thing, it'll be the last thing that you're going to say here because I'm not going to deal with you. You're homeless. I can't even find you if you want to run the fade, and that's just going to be the bottom line about it. Unless any of y'all really want to run the fade and meet up, I suggest you not talk smack. But anyways, let's get down on this, right? Bo Nickel is going to be a big star in the world of mixed martial arts. And they're setting it up in a way where he's going to be this big star that America needs. Now, in the world of MMA right now, one of the most popular type of fighters are the ones that have foreign affiliations. I roam the streets of Sacramento. What part? What part of Sacramento do you roam at? So that I can come in there and do some Tupac stuff that he did to that homeless guy in the movie Above the Rim. If you're old enough to know about the movie Above the Rim and what Tupac did to that homeless guy, let me run up on you on some real G stuff like that, boy. Huh? Let me know. Let me know where you're at. You ain't going to tell... Man, tell me. Please tell me where you're at. Again, you say that again, I'm blocking you for the rest of the day. All right? Because, for one, Jay Reckless laughs at you. Yeah, he's laughing at you, homie, because you're dumb. You know how dumb you are? Coming in here, you're homeless. You admitted to me you're homeless, and then you're coming in here talking smack. You need to worry about yourself. You need to worry about yourself, bro. Who are you? All right, but let's play nice. So Bo Nickel needs to be the star that America needs because, quite frankly, a lot of these foreign fighters, they have a big following in their country. Whereas in America, what we have going on is we got way too many sports, right? So the fact that we have a lot of sports, I think it really is hard for us to follow somebody like John Jones, follow somebody like Bo Nickel, all these American stars that we have, because quite frankly, the sports that we have in America, I think just overall dominates the landscape as a result. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget to check out my premiere that I'm going to have. It's called John Jones Attempted Murder Charges. Here's the full details and why. So I basically go into reasons of what had happened with the whole drug testing incident. I think that is I think that's premiering right now. But I'm gonna stay on live because I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the combat, the verbal combat that I'm getting with you, O'Malley. What about O'Malley, Jay Reckless? By the way, um, thank you for tapping in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but also check out the video that I have premiering out right now regarding the John Jones situation. I'm telling you, it's a very shocking video, and I gotta tell you, if you're the one type of person that gets offended too easily, please do not go watch this. Okay, but if you're a person that can stomach a lot of the horrible things that are out there, yeah, I suggest that you go and you watch this and enjoy it. But anyways, what about O'Malley, Jay Reckless? What would you like me to talk about with O'Malley? Is he a big star in America? Is that what you mean? I would have to kind of disagree with you, right? For a couple of reasons. And for one, by the way, one of the reasons why I may disagree with you may have something to do with Takashi 69. Okay, because here's the thing, right? If you want to be a big star in America, you have to capture the urban audience that is involved. He is the biggest US star right now. Okay, that's undeniable. He is a champion. He has a look about him. He's got a YouTube page that's quite successful. So that's hard to argue. You're absolutely right about that. But like I was saying, in order to capture real superstardom in the United States, and I'm talking about Conor McGregor like status, you have to capture the urban audience. Because here's the thing, right? Conor McGregor was able to do that. I've said this numerous times in this particular page, right? That if it wasn't for Conor McGregor, who brought the gangster rap image of MMA into the world of the UFC, this whole entire game would look like a bunch of pink haired white boys who listen to Creed and a whole bunch of WWE rock music in their freaking training sessions. Conor McGregor brought flair and style into mixed martial arts. And this is the reason why he brought a lot of urban audience, as Dr. Doppler over there likes to sort of, say in a very mocking type of manner. But anyways, he knows more about being urban than I do. I mean, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there because you know what? I'm not here to, destroy whatever situation you have going on. I don't wish that upon anybody. I don't wish to be in that particular situation. But you are who you are, and you are where you're at. Now back to Sean O'Malley at that. So here he goes. Sean O'Malley, a big star, and if you notice, he hung out with what's that guy's name? Takashi 69. Okay, I gotta tell you, this does not look good for, let's say, a very urban audience. I'm just being honest about it, right? They're going to be very skeptical considering the fact that he hung out with somebody that was a known snitch. Now, here's the thing, it doesn't matter so much outside of the United States because guess what? Speaking of Takashi 69, this guy is really big down in Mexico. He's big in other places where people don't have this G code type of mentality, right? Whereas here in America, they sort of have that trajectory in them where they don't like that particular aspect of violating that particular culture. So speaking of which, where's let's address all the other haters here or this and that, other than Dr. Doppler Decker or whatever your name is. So Jay Reckless, you're cool. Nicholas Hernandez, you're not popping. You literally just say one comment, you don't say another comment because you're a freaking coward. And I didn't even block you yet, so I'm giving you the chance to redeem yourself before I fire on you again, and before I look at your profile and really break you down into pieces that you are. But anyways, so Sean O'Malley, he is a star, but elsewhere and not so much in the United States in ways that you would think. So, but with Bo Nickel, I think he can cross over into that. Sean O'Malley, maybe for the preteens. I know a lot of people that know of him, but not sure he could sell pay-per-views on his own. Very good. This right here is a perfect comment right here by Hiya Buddy 7, right? He's definitely right about that. We don't know if this guy can sell pay-per-views, and quite frankly, I agree with you on that. Because guess what? When you have an audience that is in the age group of Jake Paul, these guys, they don't have money, and if they have money, guess what? They're still internet savvy, just like you guys know. I'm internet savvy. You're internet savvy. Let's not act like we don't watch a lot of pre-fights, right? Free fights, not pre-fights. Sorry. We know where to get these websites, so we got to keep this in proper perspective, right? A lot of these guys are not going to do that. So as a result, uh, it's it's not going to be a big pay-per-view draw unless, of course, you put in particular names in his card. Now you look at the last Sean O'Malley card, right? Let's analyze um, the card that Sean O'Malley was in. Let's take a look at the names that was in his event in UFC 299, right? So UFC 299, what did we have? We had Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint Denis. Obviously, Dustin Poirier is a big star. That Conor McGregor fight. I mean, but he's the only U.S. champ right now. Correct, he's the only U.S. champ. That's very true. But I'm sort of talking about like if he is able to cross over into the mainstream, right? And right now, not yet. But he is very popular among the MMA space. And here's the thing that you have to understand about the MMA space, right? Guys like you and me are going to watch all the fights. I know John Jones is the champ too, but he's about to retire. Very true. And not only that, Jay Reckless, he's also sort of ducking Tom Aspinall, and it's very clear as day to see that. I hate seeing that because, quite honestly, I think the world of John Jones. Right? We all should think the world of John Jones. He's the GOAT. He's also one of the key figures in the sport that has brought it to a whole nother level. So as a result, yeah, man, you can't deny that um, he is somewhat ducking Tom Aspinall, and it's very difficult to deny that as such. So uh, let's see here. Let's let's start doing YouTube. Okay, I just got a message from my man right here. By the way, check out Zane Musa Boxing. Right, he's an affiliate of mine that is in the UK. Let me see here, bro. Tap in on my live. I'm live. I'm live now as we speak. All right. So yeah, check out Zane Musa Boxing. He's affiliated with the up and coming boxer in the UK named Hamza Shiraz. If you guys know anything about him, but yeah, okay. So yes, bro, there you are. Yes, what's going on, Zane Musa Boxing? By the way, check out this guy right here, guys. Go and like and subscribe to his channel if you're into boxing, because let me tell you, he's got a lot of great boxing content out there. What's happening, bro? Let me tell you what's happening. A few people were up in here sort of talking trash, and guess what? I went and did some real West Coast gangster stuff on him, disrespected them and their bitch-ass mama. Not trying to curse. I don't normally curse. How are we gonna tap in, bro? I don't know how to add a guest onto this. Um, because obviously I just started the live. Before live, you could probably start and invite someone in. But right now, as I'm live, how the UFC fights go last night? So great question, right? So last night's fight was involving Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis, yeah, we work it out. I'm gonna look how. Yeah, man, and then you know what? I'll do a Facebook Live with you later on, as we had promised yesterday. I was a little bit busy, as you know. I went and did a 7-hour stream. Hiya Buddy asks, how do you follow boxing as well? What do you think of Bud right now? In my opinion, he's solidified himself as a GOAT. Yes, what's his name right here? Mr. Hiya Buddy. Hiya Buddy, you're absolutely right about that, my man. Right now, Terrence Crawford is the GOAT. So I did a video regarding John Jones and Terrence Crawford, being that they're in the same trajectory, right? So get this. John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall, right? And Canelo, I'm sorry, not Canelo Alvarez. Bud is ducking Jaron Ennis. So Jaron Ennis is sort of the, how do I say this? The quintessential Tom Aspinall of the welterweight division of boxing. That's the best way to really put it, right? So Bud has a chance to continue having his GOAT status, and as such, he can just retire right now, and nobody will even bat an eye if he doesn't fight Jaron Ennis because Jaron Ennis just doesn't have that big name yet. In the same similar fashion that Tom Aspinall, even though he's very big into the circumference of our MMA circles, he's not really that much of a big name to where he is in high demand to the casual fans. Because right now, the only people that are really demanding this fight with John Jones and Tom Aspinall are the hardcores. Now, here's the thing, right? If you really want an entire casual fan base to ask John Jones to fight Tom Aspinall, you got to get Pierce Morgan, get in his ear and say, hey, you know what? Have John Jones call out your fellow Englishman, Tom Aspinall. Because if you don't do that, then nobody's going to care for this fight. Just like Jaron Ennis. In order for Jaron Ennis to get into a fight with Terrence Crawford, he has to really demand that from the public in a way where it makes him undeniable. Okay? So if he is undeniable in that particular regard, then you know what? It's going to be very difficult to say no to him. By the way, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out the video that I have going on right now. John Jones attempted MURDER charges. Okay, you got to check that out. It's a real hot video, and I think you guys are going to get the full details of that particular incident in the most objective manner. Because I think what a lot of people are sort of going at with the whole John Jones situation right now is just nothing more than just pure exaggeration, right? A whole lot of exaggeration in terms of, let's say, how they are looking at this matter at hand. They're only looking at it either from the side of the drug tester or they're looking at it from the side of John Jones, and as if John Jones did absolutely nothing wrong. I think they both did something wrong in this particular instance, and I think that it's really important to give you an objective take on this matter. So, speaking of which, on objective takes, how about all these other haters right here that have not really addressed any objective takes that they have? Look at this. Where's Nicholas Hernandez at? I've been trying to call you out this whole time, and you just drop a comment in and you say nothing. And then Dr. Decker, he still hasn't said anything yet because, once again, look, guys, all I'm trying to tell you is go concentrate on your own lives, baby. I'm here trying to concentrate on mine, trying to be the greatest on YouTube MMA and trying to do the damn thing and represent the West Coast and the West Side in this. Okay? What are you doing? But anyways, what else is on UFC 300? Oh, I still got to talk about WrestleMania last night. So I think WrestleMania was sort of awesome in a way where, you know what, they sort of mixed some of the old and the new. Obviously, The Rock comes from the D-Generation X Attitude era, right? The NWO era where he was really popping at the time. And then after that, he became the biggest star in Hollywood, only to come back to his roots and contribute in wrestling, while also seeing all these new names and all these new figures in wrestling that, well, quite frankly, all the old heads are not familiar with, right? So it was sort of a great combination of both. So uh, obviously, they're going to have another WrestleMania tonight. That's going to be fun. And again, it's UFC 300 fight week, so you can't complain, right? It's best time to be alive. Hi, buddy says, you have smart opinions and perspective, my dudes. Just found you and I'm enjoying your content. Thank you. Thank you so much, hi, buddy. See, that is positive right there. Very positive message right there. Thank you. And you know what? I hope you stick around. I hope you like and subscribe and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because guess what? I'm telling you right now, this is the most epic mixed martial arts channel in the history of mankind. And I'm willing to make that bet and say it like that with full confidence, because that's exactly what I'm going to give to you guys. I'm going to give you full confidence. I'm going to give you all the objective takes. And not only that, I'm also going to give you content in ways that nobody has ever given you before. Because let's just be honest, right? A lot of these other MMA contents out there, they'll just talk about the kicks and punches all day. Let me give you an impression of what happens when you listen to other MMA contents out there. So, guys, another fight is happening. Yay, UFC 300, kicks and punches, takedown submissions, kicks and punches. Guess what? Not only can I break down fights in a way that Dan Hardy would be proud of, but I can also break down the geopolitical aspects of mixed martial arts. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about Kamzat, right? Are there geopolitical implications in this particular matter at hand when it comes out? Of course there is. Now, who's going to talk about that in the most objective way? Obviously, Luke Thomas is a great example of that. And shout out to Luke Thomas. He's actually one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to MMA content. But at the same time, let's be honest, me and Luke Thomas really have a different worldview of things. You know, let's just be honest about it. Luke Thomas is pro rainbow, right? And I'm not. Okay, let's just be honest and real about it. So if you want a based take on certain matters with intellectuality, this is something that I can give you. You see, there's a lot of guys in the MMA space that are quote unquote based, right? There are guys like this in the MMA space that are like that. The problem is a lot of them are not smart. They're not intelligent because for whatever reason, the conservative side of America really doesn't emphasize a lot on education. They think education is somehow the devil or something like that. Or yeah, and well, you know, unfortunately, this is the reason why a lot of them can't communicate, and a lot of them think like women in ways that they react emotionally to a lot of different perspectives. But either way, check out my content right now for John Jones attempted MURDR charges on my new content that is dropping right now. It's literally dropping. It's literally premiering right now as I'm doing this live. Right, I shouldn't be doing this live while I'm premiering a video, but you know what? I'm enjoying this live right now, and I'm enjoying all those that have liked and subscribed. And look at that. Just based on this live alone, I got a few more subscribers. Thank you to all those that are subscribing from around the world. Hit another subscribe button for any of those that are new here and are checking out this channel. Thank you for tapping in with me. Now growing more than ever, right? 275 subscribers so far and growing. And I can't wait to grow to the next level and take you guys with me around the world because I give a different perspective on MMA that nobody else will give you, but also give you great different backgrounds of my city of Sacramento. Take a look at MMA Guru, this bum who just does nothing but sit in a office or in a studio all day, doesn't go out. I mean, I'm sitting in a studio right now, but guess what? I take you guys with me out to the Kings arena. Take you around Sacramento. You look in the background of my videos. There's palm trees. I'm driving around different places. I'm in different places. I'm walking around, engaging with people. This is not something that this bum would do because he's nothing more than a little introvert that has great charisma. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to trash MMA Guru in any kind of way. I'm just saying I'm targeting him for the simple fact that, you know what? He's the hottest MMA content creator right now. There ain't no doubt about it. I listen to the dude, but let me tell you this, right? If you guys know anything about West Coast gangster history, if you know anything about Orlando Anderson, the guy who popped Tupac, this guy also listened to Tupac. Keefe D, his uncle, listened to Tupac. In fact, the Vegas PD found a CD of Tupac Shakur's music in his car. But yet he was the one who popped them. Guess what? Out here in California, we're legend killers out here. That's the type of a product that I'm going to offer you, straight legend killer status, baby. You know what I mean? I can respect you. I can respect your work. I can respect your hustle. But when it comes down to it and running that fade, man, I'll take you out at any given moment of time on West Side. So understand that. But anyways, what else is on UFC 300 that we can talk about here? By the way, bring more people in here. If you know a friend or another friend, tell them to tap in. Let them know about my channel so we can grow this to the next level. Weili Zhang and that other Chinese girl, Yan. I don't know how much interest that is in the fight, but I have mentioned that that particular fight is going to attract a lot of pay-per-view numbers in China. If that is the type of I guess, video package they have going on with their TV networks that they have going on in China. But who knows? Armin Sarukian versus Charles Oliveira. By the way, this is also another fight that I think is going to be a huge upset. So I think the most important thing to really understand with this particular fight card in this week is that Charles Oliveira might pull an upset, Max Holloway might pull an upset, and Jamal Hill might pull an upset. And a lot of people are sort of leaning towards the other direction, right? Why are they leaning towards the other direction? For different reasons, right? Obviously, these guys have earned the type of status that they had in order for them to garner the attention of being the favorite instead of the underdog. But I think the legacy that UFC 300 may leave behind after it's all said and done this weekend is that the underdogs may rise to the top, right? The underdogs on top, just like Game Jay Sean Taylor. By the way, check out the video that I did with the Game Jay Sean Taylor, where I talk about the information regarding his boxing debut, which, by the way, is being worked on by his manager right now, Whack 100. So you guys check that out. Also, check out the video that I have going on with John Jones. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that one. And well, I think that's really all there is to it in this particular content. Right? Hold on. Let me see what else we can talk about before I go. I may just stay a little bit longer because I can feel that we may have a few more things to talk about. But in any regard, let me see something here first. So what else is in UFC 300? Aljamain Sterling and Calvin Kattar. Now, how about this? Kayla Harrison and Holly Holmes. Now, we're always talking about upsets, or at least I am, right? I'm talking to you guys about upsets when it comes to UFC 300. Let us see if Holly Holmes could potentially be the other upset that can go on with this particular event. Because obviously, Kayla Harrison is brought in here as the heavy favorite, right? However, we don't know if this particular fight is going to turn out the way that it does. Obviously, they brought her in to win because she's a new star that they want to build off of. But at the same time, the UFC doesn't really care about building stars or anything like that, right? It's not pro wrestling. Usually, when you bring in the old dogs aren't done yet, man. I wish Poirier was on this card. Yeah, you know what? He should be, right? But then who would he fight? Who would Dustin Poirier fight in this card? Because yes, he did. He left unscathed in the fight against Benoit Saint Denis. But who would be available in the lightweight division right now for him to fight, or maybe a catchweight fight? Maybe go up at 170. How about you know what? How about this? It would have been nice if, let's say, Colby Covington, Nate Diaz, ideally. Well, Nate Diaz is busy right now. He has a fight in June. And by the way, what's interesting about that fight? It's a boxing match against Jorge Masvidal. How did that fight end in the first time? Right? It ended with Nate Diaz bleeding, and the fact that he was bleeding profusely, the referee had just decided to cut the match off, right? They were like, yeah, listen, this is done, right? And it was a New York card, and you know, New York is very strict in that particular matter. So you know what? Here's what's crazy about this. This fight, this boxing match with him and Jorge Masvidal is going to be taking place in Inglewood. And for anybody that's from California, the one thing that I can tell you about the bigger gloves will make a difference in this fight, I think. Yeah, for sure. And it's a different dynamic of a different type of fight and a different type of style altogether. So, Inglewood, California, in the form where this is taking place, it's in a blood neighborhood. How ironic, because Nate Diaz bled a little too much, and now they're fighting in a blood neighborhood, which I think is, I mean, listen, you're never going to hear that from any MMA content creator. This is the type of stuff that I come up with in my head that I can just say off the fly. And yeah, man, you know, the irony of it is quite interesting, you know, to say the very least. You know, but either way, still, it's going to be an interesting fight in a boxing match. But at the same time, I think that Nate Diaz uh, may have a better chance than Jorge Masvidal when it comes to boxing. I should do a video on that, right? Do a prediction video on Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal in terms of the boxing rules, right? Because I have a bit of a boxing audience as well, right? I do boxing content with Zane Musa Boxing, the guy who just dropped in the chat earlier. We do other aspects of combat sports. I obviously covered Muay Thai the other day in that 2 hour stream that I did for One FC. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna do I might do a video on Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, but I'll give you an exclusive right here, right? I think that Nate Diaz is going to win this fight by a decision, and reason being, I think that Jorge Masvidal is very tough, right, in terms of having a strong boxing prowess, but he's never been tested in boxing. Whereas with Nate Diaz, he's already had a boxing career or lack or whatever you want to call it, at least boxing experience against Jake Paul. And well, I guess the reason why I said career was because I'm thinking of him sparring all these rounds with the great Andre Ward in the Bay Area, who, by the way, is one of the best boxers in the entire world, if not ever, right? And obviously retired a little too early for his liking. So that's that. What else? That's yeah. We'll do a video on that, but also more on UFC 300 during this week, right? I think that there's going to be a lot of UFC 300 content that we're going to drop during this week. I mean, look, I'm just going to say this, right? And listen to me very carefully. A lot of you are going to be very shocked by the results of UFC 300. I promise you. I promise you, the results are going to shock you. Why? Well, for the simple fact that there's going to be a lot of underdogs here that shouldn't be underdogs, in my humble opinion. And the fact that these underdogs are here, I think, I think that they're also facing people that have certain weaknesses that they can exploit. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, right? So Kayla Harrison. Let's start with Kayla Harrison and the Holly Holmes fight. By the way, very excited for this fight. This fight is literally. Wait a minute. Where is Cody Garbrandt in this fight? He should be in this fight. Why is he not in this card? Hold on a second. Cody Garbrandt. Where is Cody? Okay, Cody Garbrandt is right there. Oh, okay. I was looking at the the preliminary, not the actual early prelims. So Cody Garbrandt is the first fight of the night. Okay. Okay, but we're not concentrating on that. Obviously, we're concentrating on Kayla Harrison. Holly Holmes can exploit a possible striking deficiency in Kayla Harrison. That's one thing that we can really take into consideration. Uh, just like with the Holly Holmes and Ronda Rousey fight. Now, Kayla Harrison is obviously a much better version of Kayla Harrison. Hiya Buddy here says, depends on what Nate shows up. Nate fight with Leon. Hold on a second. This thing just goes out. What did he say here? The Nate fight with Leon made me question where his heart is these days. I understand he might have been getting outclassed, but he just didn't look like he wanted to be there. So it didn't look like he wanted to be there in the Nate Diaz fight, huh? I'm sorry, in the Leon Edwards fight, huh? I think that look, you got to understand, Leon Edwards is a world champion, right? So being that he's a world champion, I think that it absolutely lends itself to a certain situation where he's going to outclass Nate Diaz. That's just the bottom line about it. He's going to outclass him. And as a result of him outclassing Nate Diaz, you're always going to look like a quitter against a guy that can outclass you. And it's not always indicative of what is told in the next fight, right? So in other words, just because one guy can make you look like a quitter because of the fact that he has this strong prowess in his technicality, and I'm talking about Leon Edwards, it doesn't mean that it's not going to look like that, especially in a boxing match, because we have to put this in perspective, right? We're talking about boxing. And because we're talking about boxing, we're talking about a completely different sport that has different rules. And the reason why I truly believe that this rule set is favoring Nate Diaz is just based on the particular practice that he has put on over the years, right? The fact that he's been able to practice and train with the likes of, let's say, Andre Ward, I think really lends itself positively in what he's going to be able to do in this fight. So again, we have to really take that into consideration with Nate Diaz and what he's able to do in the boxing ring. Because in the MMA side of things, this is what I think about Nate Diaz on the MMA side of things, right? I think that he's completely lacking for real. Nate boxed with great boxers his whole life. Very true. Yeah. And it's the reason why he looked like the way that he did against Jake Paul. A lot of people don't really give Jake Paul the credit that he deserves, right? And also, I think when we're looking at these matches with Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, we really have a skewed outlook, a real skewed outlook uh on their skill levels in boxing as a result of it. Why do I say that? The reason why I say there's a skewed view in their boxing skills is because, for one, let's take a look at what Jake Paul did in his last two opponents, right? What did he do to his last two opponents? For one, what he did was he went and outclassed these guys, knocked them out in the first or second round without taking into consideration. Jake Paul is an a-hole, but what he's done in boxing is pretty extraordinary. So, Buddy Seven, right? Think about what you just said, right? And the first qualifier you mentioned in your sentence, and this is not a knock on you. By the way, this is something that a lot of people say, so you're not the only one, but it's worth noting for intellectual conversation's sake, right? A lot of people say this about Jake Paul. So, as a result of the fact that he is an a hole, it's very difficult for many people to accept the fact that he's really good. Okay? I'll tell you this, right? I've, how do I say this without really revealing anything? Okay, so, uh, okay, I got a few guys that work, construction for me for a few times, right? Like contractors and whatnot. Let me just say this, right? When you're a person that's in property development, or you have your own property, or real estate, or anything like that, you're going to deal with a lot of guys that are construction workers, right? Look at Trump, right? He was a property developer, so he dealt a lot with, uh, builders and construction guys and contractors. Well, I got to tell you, when you're in that line of work, or in that line of business, or you're in that particular space, you're going to deal a lot with guys that are a holes. You know what I mean? So the fact that they are a holes, sometimes you sort of forget how good they can really be. You got to understand, a holes are often overlooked because of the fact that they're a holes. That's really the best way to put it. You don't notice of the good work that they do. Okay, I'll give you another example, right? On a domestic level, right? There's a lot of people out there that, uh, well, okay, no, I don't want to use that example, because then that's just going to open up a different can of worms. Let me scratch that. Okay, but sticking to this topic at hand, right? I've met a lot of guys that are in construction that are just complete a-holes, right? But I know that when it comes to working a fence, when it comes to, let's say, doing yard work, or when it comes to, let's say, fixing up a house or attaching certain aspects of, let's say, a shower head or whatever. These are the best guys to go to. But I know that I'm going to have to deal with the fact that they are, well, a certain way, that they act a certain way. And I have to somehow deal with that in sometimes a very negative fashion, right? But by the end of the day, they get the job done. So that's really what Jake Paul is in a nutshell. To really best explain it in the in the most metaphorical terms, right? So he gets overlooked as a result. Look, the guy that he beat 2 fights ago, from the Mike Tyson fight that is coming up, this guy named August, right? If you know anything about this guy and you look him up, he was a former Golden Gloves champion. Now, what does that tell you? The fact that he was a former Golden Gloves champion. Well, that tells you the simple fact that uh, Jake Paul is really in a trajectory that we don't expect him to be. Look, we're always talking about beat real boxers or this and that, beat real boxers. But then he goes and faces Tommy Fury. He loses to him, and then this is what happens when you lose to when you fight real boxers. Well, here's the thing: Jake Paul is a real boxer too, and unfortunately for many people's misunderstanding, uh, that was a 50-50 fight. Nobody likes to admit that. That was a 50-50 fight, guys. And these are two guys that are in their physical prime doing the damn thing. And it just so happens that Tommy Fury came out on top based on styles alone. Yeah, you're right. To be honest, he's probably not even actually an a hole. I will say I don't subscribe to everything he believes in, but he doesn't mean to be a bad dude. So I'll tell you this, hi, buddy. I have a buddy of mine. His name's Eric Trilogy. I don't know if you know anything about him. He's a guy that I train jujitsu with out here in Sacramento. We still keep in touch to this day. He invites me over to his house down in LA. He works with Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Conor McGregor. And by the way, sort of created a little bit of a conflict of interest during the Khabib and Conor McGregor fight because guess what? Judging by my beard, you know that I know a lot of guys that train with Khabib, so you know how that went. And then obviously at the time, my Facebook went on fire based on those arguments alone. But yeah, before Eric started working with Jake Paul, uh, he told me he didn't want to work with him. He said that, oh, well, Jake Paul is an a hole. I'm like, well, why do you say that? I'm like, in comparison to Logan, because remember, he was working with KSI first. After he started working with KSI, then he started working with Logan. So I was like, how is he an a hole? And Logan Paul is not, right? So I thought that was really interesting that he had that particular take, right? He had that take where, okay, yeah, Jake is an a hole, but Logan is not. And obviously, the way that we're looking at it today, we're probably looking at it like, all right, who's the real a hole behind them? By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Obviously, it's on the little section below, above the description. Just hit the like button for a bit of some visibility to the content so that I can continuously drop some of the hottest content for you guys and keep this thing rolling. So it doesn't hurt to do it. Just press the like button and we'll be good. But anyways, yeah, a lot of people don't really like to take that into consideration about Jake Paul. They just want to look at his attitude, but not really look at the work. I think you could say that about Donald Trump. Now, look, I'm not highly affiliated with one particular political group over the other, right? But obviously, I think a lot of people will say that, the orange man has better ideas. Make of that as you will. However, something you got to understand, right? There's also people that say even though 45 was an a-hole, they say that he's a better president as a result of it, and that's all that really people care about is the actual work rather than the exaggerated aspects of his reality. So something to think about in the process. What else? What else with the UFC 300 tonight? There's going to be WrestleMania. I think I'm probably going to do a live reaction for WrestleMania tonight. Not only am I going to do a live reaction for WrestleMania, I'm probably going to do a Facebook live chat with Zayn Musa Boxing, and then somewhere along the lines, he'll probably upload that to his boxing channel. So, yeah, doing multiple contents a day, right? I just dropped a video for you guys of John Jones charges that are against him. That's out right now for you guys to check out. I'm doing this live stream with you guys, which I'm going to put up even after I'm done with this live stream. And then I'm going to do a content with Zayn Musa Boxing. We're going to talk about boxing and MMA and everything in between. And then we're also going to do WrestleMania reactions tonight. And by the way, even though I'm reacting to a WrestleMania, don't think that I'm not just going to focus this on wrestling alone, because guess what? Even though I grew up watching wrestling, like most of you have, okay, I am today a casual fan of pro wrestling. And by the way, watching wrestling last night was quite interesting, considering the fact that I didn't know any of the storylines. So whenever they played the video package before the matches were going on, it was all brand new to me. I didn't keep up with any of the SmackDowns or the Raws or any of the NXT or whatever side shows that they have going on. I didn't see any of that. However, it was nice and fresh to just see it fresh off the bat like that, like it was a movie. And the same thing tonight. But in between that, I'm going to talk about MMA as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And are you at all concerned that if the UFC will go the scripted route, not that it is closely tied to the WWE? So, okay, you know what? This is a great question. I'm glad that you brought this up, right? And I'm glad that you're giving me a lot of reasons not to leave yet, because you're giving me a lot of real interesting topics to talk about. So, yeah, let's talk about, will the UFC uh, take a route that is scripted or somehow exaggerated into a storyline driven? The answer is no, because you see, the UFC will always be the UFC, and the integrity of that sport will always remain intact in terms of the best competitive architecture that they can build off of. When it comes to exaggerated storylines, you want to know who really fires that up is us, the fans. Now, are there fighters out there that lend themselves to interesting stories just based on their hyper personalities, based on their gimmicks that they purposely push? Yes, you're always going to have that. However, what you have in this particular instance is a situation where they're going to be decompartmentalized in the best way possible. In other words, they know how the wrestling business works. They're going to concentrate on that in that particular department. They know how the mixed martial arts industry works, and they're going to concentrate on that in that particular department. They're not going to do anything that is going to deviate from that, because the way that the UFC has ran over the years has been successful, right? That's why they keep Dana White around. Dana White could slap up anybody he wants, but they're going to keep him around because he knows how to maintain this business. The same thing with the WWE. They may not like Vince McMahon, but they know how to run a wrestling business. They know how to run a wrestling business to a certain extent that, okay, you know what? There are some things that we can modify and change. For example, here's a couple of observations that I had noticed that is quite different with pro wrestling nowadays, right? Obviously, in Vince McMahon's days, he would push the guys that were big muscle steroid looking dudes like the Ultimate Warrior. Now, when you look at WWE, it looks like really a group of guys that are highly athletic CrossFitters, right? You look at Logan Paul. He looks like a real legitimate athlete. A lot of guys in the WWE now look like Logan Paul in terms of their body structure, right? So that's the new modification that I noticed. They're going and gearing more towards guys that look like athletes rather than guys that look like buff steroid looking brutes. So I think that's quite important to sort of point out in that matter, right? So they're going to keep it the same, but they're also going to modify it in ways that they can improve it. So the idea that, let's say, they're going to bring in uh, something new or something exaggerated or something that would destroy the integrity of mixed martial arts. I don't think that they're going to do that. I would hope that they wouldn't, but if they are smart at their business ventures, that's really just what they're going to do. They're not going to deviate from that. So I hope that answers your particular question in that regard. Also, some unknown fights that are going on in UFC 300. Obviously, you have Sadiq Youssef taking on Diego Lopez. I don't even mind them drumming up extra interest for a fight, making it up, making a little bit of heat that isn't there. I just don't want them to go full the pride route with it. So when you mean pride route, I think you're talking about when, let's say, they sort of started fixing fights in that particular instance. Yes, I think that's exactly what you are talking about, right? Are the Pride days when they sort of started fixing fights. I mean, look at what's this guy's name? Um, uh, what is that guy's name? The big black dude, Sapp, Bob Sapp. After a while, Bob Sapp got into this particular type of scenario where he was basically sort of getting into fixed fights, right? So as a result of Bob Sapp getting to these fixed fights, guess what happened? He then started to create a trend that was really constantly being used over and over again in Pride, right? Then they started bringing in pro wrestlers to fight MMA fighters, but then that was always the tradition in uh, in Pride and in Japanese MMA and in particular Japanese pro wrestling. So when they brought in CM Punk back in the days, right? Or not even too long ago, if you really think about it, they brought in CM Punk in 2014. Think about that. The UFC brought in CM Punk in 2014. How I know this, CM Punk left the WWE in 2014 in the spring of that time, right? So, in other words, he did the Royal Rumble in January of 2014, and then he was not part of the WrestleMania of that year because I believe 2014 was WrestleMania 30. He was not part of that. This year he was part of it, but he was a host, right? Sort of like a desk correspondent, sort of like what Michael Bisping and Michael Chiesa do behind the desk for ESPN. That was his role in WrestleMania last night and today, because obviously WrestleMania is a two-night event. Uh, when he came into the UFC, it wasn't a surprise to me and it wasn't foreign to me only because I was a fan of Japanese mixed martial arts, but I was also a fan of Japanese pro wrestling. And the culture of Japanese pro wrestling really is predicated on guys having MMA experience, which is why when you watch Japanese pro wrestling, it really looks a lot like MMA. They throw these roundhouse kicks that look like Muay Thai kicks. They wear shin pads that look like the type of shin pads you wear when you're practicing or sparring in MMA gyms. So there was an MMA centric style to the way that they uh, conveyed their message in their art of pro wrestling. So when CM Punk came and fought, I was like, well, you know what? This is in the same trajectory as, yeah, yes, Japanese go hard style. Yeah, it's called Japanese strong style, I believe. Which also the British also have something similar to that. The what they call British strong style. So yeah, it's very similar in that regard, right? So yeah, yeah. So it didn't surprise me. CM Punk was in that particular trajectory. Uh, but for a lot of people, it was a surprise, right? They were a little bit taken back from it. They couldn't understand why CM Punk was fighting, right? Because they already knew that he had money, and they were like thinking to themselves, "Well, what's the point of you doing this in the first place, right? When you already have money and whatnot." So Anyways, yeah, that's the reality of pro wrestling in Japan and elsewhere. And by the way, guys, once again, check out my John Jones video. It's out right now. You guys are really gonna love it. I'm telling you, it's very explosive, very controversial. And by the way, if you have a weak stomach, do not watch it because it's really gonna hurt your feelings in more ways than one. But either way, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Like all my videos, please, so that we can get this going and get the visibility going. And I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, at least morning it is in my part of the world, or a wonderful day and afternoon wherever you are from around the world. God bless you, including the haters who came into this chat hating and getting dissed on. And I welcome you as well because I welcome anything in terms of verbal combat or physical combat, and that's really what it is. I give Punk a lot of credit for that. He got his butt whooped, but had the balls to go for it. And you're a very knowledgeable dude. Hope to see you soon. Yes, thank you. And you know what? Here's the thing, right? I want to talk about that specific. You just gave me a great idea to talk about once again. Okay, CM Punk, he got a lot of flack for doing that fight against Mickey Gall. You want to know something funny? That same following week after uh, CM Punk lost his fight, there was this wrestler named Dolph Ziggler. I forgot who he was wrestling at the time, but in that following Monday Night Raw, after CM Punk lost on that Saturday, uh, they did a match, right? And they emulated literally what had happened in the match. So, in other words, if you notice, Mickey Gall straight away shot in for a double leg takedown, took Punk down, and submitted him on the ground or just ground and pounded him, right? Dolph Ziggler did that same sequence in his wrestling match in WWE Raw. And as I'm watching this, I'm like thinking to myself, this looks very familiar. And all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, you look on the internet and in online, people were talking about it. They were like, okay, so I'm not the only one that noticed this. This is interesting, right? It's always interesting that you notice these little things in pro wrestling, and then there's other people that follow up and notice it as well. So, what I wanted to say in regards to that, I truly think that a lot of people out there hate their lives. You know what I mean? Let me tell you why. And this kind of correlates to what we're talking about. This correlates to the haters that were on the chat earlier that I had to go and dominate like the little girls that they were and had to scold them to kingdom come. But here's something that you got to understand, right? Most people don't want to see you do good. Yeah, I just wanted to let you sink that in. And that's the reason why I paused for a long period of time. Most people don't want to see you do good because you doing good is going to hurt their feelings. It's going to hurt the reality of their reality. And not only that, it's going to make them look at themselves and say, man, I'm not doing anything right. I'm telling you, okay, so here's what it is, right? I'm 38 years old. I'm about to be 39. And I don't mind telling people that. I have classmates of mine from my high school days that have a hard time telling people how old they are. Think about this. Why is it that I don't care about telling people how old I am? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. I've literally done a lot of things in my life. I've accomplished many things in my life. I've experienced many things in my life. And quite frankly, in the stage of my life that I'm at right now, I'm very comfortable in my own skin and my own security. So as a result, I don't mind telling people that I'm 38 or 39 years old. And quite frankly, also on the superficial side of things, and I don't like going into the superficial aspects of things, but at 38 going into 39 in in a couple of months or so, or I don't want to reveal what my birthday is, but let's just say that I'm in the borderline of that, right? But at least I'm telling you my age because on the superficial side of things I don't look like it. I urge you to take a look at my workout videos that I got going on. I'm telling you, I blaze these young boys in the gym, and that's not an exaggeration. Be proud of those years. I'm 39 myself. You look very well for that. And by the way, oh yeah, thank you. And that's why that's the reason why I don't mind telling people that, because yes, this is what I am, and quite frankly, I go out and blaze these young boys in the gym. You know what I mean? Bro, I'm fasting for Ramadan, and I'm not even exaggerating. I go harder than everybody in the gym. I make everybody in the gym look lazy compared to me. And that's not trash talking in any way. I'm not trying to trash talk. I'm just doing real talk. That's not an exaggeration. Metric numbers don't lie. The amount of height that I can jump doesn't lie. The amount of weights that I can put up with literally no food in my body doesn't lie. The fact that I can do all these insane workouts and circuits, do rounds on the bag, do rounds with people in the gym, and then on top of that, go for a swim while doing shadow boxing in a hot sauna to add all those workouts. None of those are a lie. That is a reality. So of course I don't have a problem telling people my age, but at the same time, because of that, I also don't mind congratulating people when they do great things. And this is the reason why I'm really embedded into trying to do MMA content on YouTube. Amen, brother. Get him. Get him. That's right. Thank you. Hi, buddy. By the way, don't forget to share me with the rest of your friends that are also into MMA, because if you have friends that think like me and you, I think they're going to enjoy my content as well. And let's build a community with this, a community that emphasizes objective takes, because obviously there's a lot of people out there in the MMA space that don't have objective takes. But I don't want to lose a train of thought that I was getting into, but what I was saying is that a lot of people uh, may not be able to do MMA content, especially other ex fighters, because part of doing MMA content, you have to congratulate people when they do great things. And I heard one comment from a person a long time ago. I think it was in one of my videos here in this channel. He said to me, this hater, one of the very many haters out there, he said to me, he's like, I don't understand why you do videos talking about other people or this and that. Well, this was my response to him, right? I said, well, for one, I'm not a selfish person where I'm just going to get up here and talk about myself all day long, because I could literally do that. But in all honesty, I don't know who would be really interested in that, right? But I do know what I'm interested in. I'm interested in witnessing greatness. I'm interested in learning about proper technique, the technique that works out there in combative situations. So, you know what? Why not? Haters focus on winners, winners focus on winning. Exactly. So I said to him, I use this vehicle as a way to sort of use it as a metaphor to life, right? Like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? When a certain fight happens and certain greatness happens within these fights, we can sort of correlate it to the realities of our real life. For example, remember when Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman? My goodness, man, that was one of the most epic moments that I had ever witnessed as a mixed martial arts fan. And I don't know about you, I'm sure you guys feel the same way, right? When he said, "Look at me now. You all doubted me. Look at me now." I'm telling you, there was a certain emotion that I had felt. And by the way, if you didn't feel any of those emotions, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not human. Maybe your parents didn't love you enough, and maybe you're just a person that's screwed up in the head. Yeah, it gave me chills, and it still does. Really, really, because think about all the doubters that had were put against Leon Edwards, right? On top of that, Leon Edwards is made to look like a punk simply because he got sucker punched by Jorge Masvidal, who we just later found out is nothing more than just a second-rate, fighter on the championship levels, if not the top five levels. Not to say that Jorge Masvidal is not a great fighter; he's great, he's absolutely awesome, but this is just the reality of it. I'm just, being honest about it, right? He's a guy that got lucky knocking out Ben Askren, and then got himself in certain situations where he sort of got lucky again. And I mean, look, he has skills, right? There's a reason why he went 5 rounds with Usman, but there's also a reason why he got knocked out by Usman, and that's that. But again, this is not about Jorge Masvidal, more like looking at Leon Edwards. I was just going to say, remember when Leon was known for being Masvidal's punching bag? Yeah, exactly. That didn't help his case, right? It made him look like a punk, but in reality, I mean, look, man, if you know anything about the hood or urban environments, people get sucker punched all the time, right? And that's just what it is, right? It doesn't mean that you're more gangster than the other guy or this and that. It just means you're caught up in some real gangster situations, and that's just what it was. Jorge Masvidal, grew up in an area where you had to sucker punch people based on the fact that you could lend yourself to dangerous situations if you don't. But at the same time, Jorge Masvidal, uh, yeah, man, he did what he felt like he needed to do. But at the same time, it's not out of the norm for these things to happen, right? And again, not to get off the tangent, but when you see a situation like Leon Edwards, you can relate that to your life. You can relate that to the realities of what you have going on. And you can look at that and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to draw inspiration from this. So moments like that, I got to tell you, are the moments that I really thrive for in mixed martial arts content creating. Because not only can you break down the technicalities of that fight, break down the X's and O's of how that happened, the technical aspects of the method to the madness, but you can also talk about the life story that you can draw from with that. And ultimately, I think this is the reason why, as human beings, we are attracted to sports. The reason why we're attracted to sports is because it provides for us a vehicle of understanding the metaphor of life, and that's the best way I can really describe it. So that is all my time that I have for this current moment of time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think on the comment section below. Thank you to all the commenters and all the ones that contributed to the show, even the haters. You guys are also a part of the show, because without you, I wouldn't get this type of attention that I'm getting now. And thank you. Inshallah, I pray for all you guys, and may all you guys stay blessed. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And don't forget to check out my new videos that I have, inshallah.